Story bringing you all the latest big politics coverage, from new polls to the closest races to the hottest issues. In 13 days, voters will head to the polls to decide which party will control the 110th Congress. President Bush says that although Democrats are already, quote, dancing in the end zone, the GOP is going to win this one. Ann Coulter is with me now. She's the author of Godless, the Church of Liberalism. And about the Iraq War, what the president said today was he's off the stay the course thing, but we got to stay there to get the job done. Effectively, is there any difference?
I always thought stay the course was kind of a stupid slogan because we don't want to keep things the way they are. We are changing things, but it's a process, and this is a difficult war. I mean, I've said many times, I think it is going very well. People are, I think, not appreciating what a difficult thing it is we're trying to do. We were not, as Democrats keep reminding us, attacked by the country of Iraq. You can't just go through and carpet bomb cities. We did win the war. Now it's a matter of killing terrorists, killing the insurgents, many of them foreigners who would be in New York City otherwise. But that's a lot harder than going after Japan or Germany. He
said no deadlines, that would be defeat. On the other hand, General Casey is saying, hey, we're giving the Iraqis 12 to 18 months to get it together, or ...
Yeah, the Democrats have been pushing in that direction. I mean, they'll just say whatever we're doing, we either need more troops or we need fewer troops. I mean, we wanted to have a small footprint. To say what the Democrats seem to be claiming now is that we weren't brutal enough oppressors and imperialists, and they want to tell the Iraqis, well, we're going to divide up your country, and we're going to give you this deadline and that deadline. Well, part of the reason we haven't been doing that, and I think correctly, is because we don't want to be the great Satan imperialist superpower bossing them around.
Look, the election is whatever that number of days away. It's not very many. And here's the latest CNN Gallup poll, that USA Today Gallup poll. Republicans are generally behind, and Democrats are generally ahead. Meantime, you've noticed a little surge in some races. What do you make of these polls? Just as close?
Is this poll a generic?
Generally, Republicans or Democrats in Congress. So it's not done seat by seat.
Well, I don't think that sort of poll means as much. Right? I mean,
it's a general view of Democrats versus Republicans.
Right. I don't think that means as much.
Why not?
You need to do the Michael Barone poll, where you look at, each individual race. I mean, people may say because Republicans have been in office for a long time and have been winning everything. I mean, the point is, if the Democrats do not win 60 or 70 seats in the House, a dozen seats in the Senate, then they may as well, go away as a party. This is their year. We've been winning everything. We can't keep winning everything. The average of the midterm election pickup since World War II is about 40 seats. They lost seats in Bush's first midterm election, so they ought to be picking up 60 or 70 seats, and I don't think they're going to do that, because Americans do think that we have to win the war in Iraq.
We'll take a look at some specific races, in particular the three Senate races that are seem to be most important to the Republicans: Talent in Missouri, Allen in Virginia, and the third one is, well, there's the Tennessee, Corker and Harold Ford.
I'm glad you picked those three.
Why?
Because those are the three of about 6 or 7 that are highly contested that I actually think we're going to win. I mean, in Talent's case, I just can't believe he's even in trouble. He's a magnificent senator. If anyone should be in trouble, it should not be Jim Talent. Though Missouri is a very weird state. It seems to be like, half Tennessee, half Massachusetts. They voted for Adlai Stevenson in 1956. It's kind of a nutty state. They voted for Clinton twice, but they also voted for John Ashcroft. Allen, I think, is ahead. And Ford, I think, is also an interesting case in Tennessee because I hate to say this, but Ford is my favorite Democrat. I wish he were running in Rhode Island against Chafee, and I would support him. If he were running in Connecticut, I'd support him.
But these Senate races...
But he is a Democrat. I just want to get that in. I do not support the Democrat in Tennessee. You must always vote for the Republican, because as good as Harold Ford is, he still belongs to a rotten party.
These particular races,
yes,
the particular Senate races, are more of a mirror of how the president... What people think about the president than the House races. The fact that the Talent's in trouble, the Corker could beat Ford, I think we're going to win those three. I think we're going to lose 3 others, so I'm glad you didn't mention them. Well, there's Santorum, DeWine,
I'm not talking about those.
And Chafee.
Oh, Chafee, I will be happy to lose. I only wish his Democrat opponent were as good as Harold Ford is. But I'd rather wait until after the Tennessee election to tell you how much I like Harold Ford. I just wish he'd become a Republican.
Let me talk to you about one more thing.
That does show you how great the South is, by the way. Even the Democrats are good in the South. Vice
President Dick Cheney, interviewed by Sean Hannity last night, talked about one of your favorite subjects, the current senator from New York, Hillary Clinton. Take a look.
With respect to the other candidates, how the Democrats are going to do, I don't know. I think it's going to be very interesting here on both sides and both parties because it's going to be wide open, obviously. I think Hillary Clinton's a formidable candidate.
She could win.
I think she could win. I hope she doesn't. I disagree with her on nearly all the issues, but nobody should underestimate her. She's a very serious candidate for president.
Serious. Nobody should underestimate her. She could win. She's formidable. You agree with the Vice President?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good idea to hedge your bets and not be like these idiot Democrats who told us for 12 years, oh, we hope you nominate Ronald Reagan. We hope you nominate him. Okay, and then we nominate him. It didn't work out so well for them. I mean,
but what about her?
He's a better poker player than the Democrats are.
But what about her?
I think Cheney's right. She will be formidable, and you shouldn't take anything for granted. And yes, it would be a disaster if she became president. I agree with him on all those points.
But you think that either you or he should take her that seriously at this point?
Well, she has so much money, she has to be taken seriously. I don't know that she has a lock. I think I may be the only person who thinks she doesn't have a lock. But she has a lot of money, and any upstart who beats her, I mean, it would be...
Well, then explain to me why just this week we witness, if Hillary Clinton is that strong, we witness Barack Obama Omania.
I think you're right. I mean, I think what you see happening is basically the same thing that happened to Howard Dean. There was all this enthusiasm for him. It's going to be Dean 3 weeks before Iowa, the day before the Iowa caucus. And we thought it was going to be Dean, and then people were allowed to vote. And you sort of saw the New York Times turning against Dean, deciding, no, he's actually insane and can't win. And so they started promoting Kerry. And I think you're right about that. You see the same sort of thing with Hillary, but she does have all the money, so the Democrats are hedging their bets, and they're not completely knocking her out the way the Times did with Howard Dean.
Lastly, Ann, today's New York Post cover, take a look at it. It sort of refers to what the president was talking about. Curtain call. President warns Dems, don't measure for the drapes yet. Do you think that's what the Democrats are doing?
Oh, yes. I mean, this is supposed to be their 1994 election. They're not crazy to do that. I have thought that this is going to be a good year for Democrats since last year, and it doesn't have to do with Foley, and it certainly doesn't have to do with the war in Iraq. The reason they will not pick up 60 or 70 seats in the House is because people know that Democrats can't be trusted with national security.
Ann Coulter. She is, of course, the author of Godless, The Church of Liberalism. Ann, as always, thank you.
Thank you.